Alright, everybody, what's up? Today I'm going to be reading some of the craziest Reddit stories that I found on the internet, alright? So, here we go. Alright, so we're starting off with a crazy one. I have suspicions my girlfriend has incestuous relationship with her son. My girlfriend's relationship with her son has been honestly a bit strange. It recently had increased since the son has been home from college. Anyways, the two are a bit touchy. Like, the son made a comment about his mom's yacht looking fat in a certain pair of jeans, which I did say to him that's a bit weird, but the mom didn't think it was. During her family's Christmas party, the girlfriend had been drinking. She straddled her own son. The way they looked at each other was incredibly disturbing. And, I don't know, there's been plenty of times when I've walked downstairs and they'll be in the kitchen standing right next to each other. I'm not a jealous type either. It just has me suspicious. Maybe they're really touchy and I'm looking way into it. What should I do? Update. And then he also left an update. So me and my girlfriend are having a great night, and her son comes home around 12. My girlfriend is in the shower, and he goes into the bathroom. After they come out, I finally said something because that was very strange. She didn't even see the issue. I told her I was uncomfortable, and she couldn't fathom why that was strange. She admitted to being topless. She broke out in a temper and she felt like that I was accusing her of something really bad. Shit, that is a crazy first story, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, no, I think you should. That girl has problems. Oh, and also, I found this other side comment on the Reddit post. The son was 19 and the mom was 39. Okay, so this is like a very, very, very long story. But anyways, I'm just gonna start reading it and make it short. My memories of this incident are choppy and so, but I remember it happened a lot. Pretty much every time we were in the same room without adults. We were less than a month in age, and her parents didn't always have the resources to care for her, so she spent a lot of time at my house growing up, like every weekend in the summer. I remember liking it sometimes, which is part of the reason I told myself I couldn't be hurt, even though I'm not even 100% sure that I wasn't hurt. I don't remember having any other sexual behaviors with anyone else in my life that I didn't initiate at those ages. Basically, once I started doing with her, I would try to do it with other young girls in my life, but it never got as far with them. I tried to convince a younger family member to draw dirty pictures with me, and she didn't want to do so, so I drew some myself and showed her. I also tried to convince a bit older friend of mine to kiss me. I think we did a little further peck, but nothing more. All of this happened under the age of 10. But with my cousin, it went always much further. I won't give details, but you can use your imaginations. There were times when I didn't want to and she coerced me. There are also times when she didn't want to and I coerced her. And I don't remember which started first. I vaguely remember her telling me she did it with her brother, which is much older than us. But that's another detail I've convinced myself I imagined. During this time, I also remember being overly sexual even alone. I exposed my bare bottom to my older sister's friend because I had a crush on him. I would rub myself with stuffed toys. I would try on my older sister's thongs and prance around my room when no one was looking. I stole the family camera to take dirty pictures of myself, which were discovered, and I'm upset that none of the adults in my family took this as a red flag. Again, this was all under the age of 10, and I didn't and still don't know what is normal for that age. My boyfriend now tells me that he and his friends were watching bad stuff at that age, but no one I knew growing up, at least openly, would do things like I did. As I got a little bit older, in 11 through 13, I started to want to see her less and less, started to realize that these things weren't right, and I wanted to stop. But I felt like saying no or telling my parents I didn't want to see her anymore because they would want an explanation and I couldn't give one. For one reason or another, I really can't remember, but I think it had something to do with her parents. I didn't see her for a while, and then one day Then one day, my mom said she was on the phone for me. At this point, I wasn't really sure if all the stuff that happened was only a dream or what. I couldn't really trust my own memories and still feel I can't a lot of the time. Anyways, when we started talking on the phone, she said she missed me. I said I missed her too. She said, "Do you remember the stuff we used to do?" I said yes, and then she started calling me sexy and saying she misses it and wish we could do it again. Again, I think we were 11 through 13 at this point. Obviously, I got uncomfortable and couldn't remember exactly what I said, but I just avoided it and tried to end the conversation as quickly as possible. She never mentioned it again, and thus began years of me trying to figure out if all my memories were true or not. I believe I'm ready to tell someone now, and I've been working with a therapist. To everyone. Thank you to everyone here for sharing, and thank you to anyone for reading. Damn, that was a long story, and that was an absolutely crazy one. What the fuck? So basically, it's confusing. It's really confusing, but yeah, no, your cousin's really weird. And keep in mind, this was all under around 10 years old. This is a bit of a shorter one, so here we go. My first year of college, and I was really incredibly lonely because I'm 18 and I still never had a boyfriend. I was a photography major taking random photos with my chunky DSLR when I noticed a group of hot guys tossing around a football across from me. One guy came over and introduced himself to me, and I quickly knew where this was going. Then he said, "My friend over there thinks you're cute, the one in the white shirt." I saw a guy in a white shirt. He was almost a midget. He was roughly 4'11" with short arms and legs. According to the internet, a midget is legally an inch shorter. Anyway, I didn't want to laugh and turn him down, so we became friends. I even snapped a photo of him. One day, I had no classes for 3 hours and it was pouring outside, so everyone was inside with nowhere to sit. He said his house was a few minutes away and that his aunt was home, so we could go there. I hesitated a lot, but hey, why not? His house was half an hour away and it was in the middle of some farm. Completely secluded in the woods, with it being dark and rainy, I felt this was a sign. We got there and he lied. Nobody was home. Red flag number 1, I put my backpack down and I noticed pictures of him wrangling baby cows. I asked him what the fuck was that, and apparently he's a cowboy in competitions. He was a midget cowboy, literally the most random thing ever. Then, while watching TV on the sofa, he popped a chicken nugget boner and then tried to pull a move on me to, let's just say SA her. He was trying to wrangle me. After some struggle, I jumped off the couch and pulled out my handy-dandy box cutter for situations like this. You know, a midget cowboy trying to SA you. I told him to drive me back to school or else I'll stab him. He dropped me off, yelled cunt, and then drove off. Apparently, his friend said that he uses his shortness to pick up chicks and they usually pity smash him. I still have that photo on my camera. When my friends don't believe the fact that he was a midget, I show them. I still keep that box cutter with me wherever I go. What the hell? Okay, that was insane. I would say that's like even worse than the last one. Thank God you had those pair of box cutters on you, because that really could have gone bad. I hope you're okay now. So for the last story of the day, I think we're gonna tone it down a little. 6 months into a relationship with my girlfriend, I decided to rent an apartment and move in together. After a couple months of living with each other, she decided she wasn't happy and wanted to break up with me and move out. After a day of discussing everything, we came up with a plan for her to move out a few days later while I was at work. The breakup went really smooth, no fighting, no pettiness, and the most adult ending to a relationship I'd ever been through. Move out day came, and I went to work while she moved her stuff. She sent me texts apologizing for the things not working out and wanted to stay friends, etc., etc. I concurred. I came home after work, her things were gone, and she even cleaned up the apartment before I left. I had a few drinks that night, got a little drunk, and climbed into bed, and immediately felt something sharp on my legs. She had taken light bulbs and shattered them under the bed comforter. 60 stitches between both legs. I texted her from the ER asking why she would do that. She said she was mad that I didn't put up more of a fight for our relationship. Keep in mind, she was the one that wanted to end things. I used those texts to press charges. She tried Facebooking me a year later, and I did not respond. Yeah. Anyways, those are all the stories that I have today. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one.